8/8 Lionsgate portal activation. This was a kind of a last minute summon in my soul today. I always do, I often do 8/8 transmissions, and I've just been in this very quiet kind of yin mode. Hi, welcome. So happy to have you all here. What a pleasure to see you. I've been in this very yin mode, and I know I'm not alone. We are moving through a shedding, a deep, deep, deep cellular shedding is occurring, and where no one gets out of this without doing the deep dive. And so, wherever you be, whether you're feeling hugely expanded or in those breaths of contraction, know that you are perfect. And sometimes you just have to wait it out. You just have to wait until the next spark, the next desire. And so I didn't put out an 8/8 because I was feeling really pulled inward. And then it started last night. Spirit was like, "You gotta do just so." Here we are. We're gonna activate together. If you have a candle, I would encourage you to light it, just to help bring in the energy of the sacred flame, the sacred light, as you light your candle. Really holding intention. What is it that you're willing to create, to know, to understand, to become through the frequency of this 8/8 Lionsgate portal? And just to remind you all what the 8/8 is it is the time when Sirius, which is considered the spiritual sun, brightest star in the sky, comes into alignment with the planet in such a way that it creates an activation, creates a portal, creates an opening. And it begins on the 26th, around the 26th of the month, 28th, and then it goes until the 12th or the 13th. But the 8th is the culmination, it's the height of it. Um, and so it's happening, it's been happening. You know, we had that very potent full moon, and we then moved into the Lion's Gate. So there's a lot of activity in the field. What this Lion's Gate is really bringing for us is an opportunity for a massive transformation. I mean, it's one after another over these last few years. No joke in our transformation and what we've been experiencing and going through. But what's significant is that this is an end cycle, and it's actually going to set up what you begin and what you create over the next 12 to 13 years. And so what the number 8 brings us is an infinity loop. It brings us into the infinite possibilities. And what I love about the number, all numbers show you what they are, how they work, what they do. The 8 is infinity, but it's infinity that goes from heaven to earth. And as I said in the She Powered Portal, my monthly membership earlier today, that we've evolved, we're elevating in frequency. So we now have 8, 9, 10 and upward chakras coming online. The 8th chakra is definitely online, which lifts the midline of the body up to the heart. So the midline has always been, or has been to this expression, the solar plexus, which is the power center. It's the space that moves us from heaven to earth, earth to heaven. And as these higher chakra systems, our star chakra is coming on, our 8th chakra, which is where I go to find the higher self, the soul self. It means that the essence is moving up, that we're moving into the heart as being the midline space of connection between heaven to earth. So feel into that as we go into our transmission here shortly. Many of you have asked me how long this is going to go. I have no idea. Make what you can, and we're in Spirit's hands here. So be as you can be. We're just going to go as we feel called to go, because we're being in flow, and we're learning how to move in accordance with what comes through. So today is a significant day where we bring the consciousness of desires, of what it is we want to bring from our higher self's remembrance of our heaven expressed self down through the heart, so it can be amplified through the frequency of love, which is truly the only frequency to create from. And then it moves down into earth. And let's please remember that you are the conduit. Spirit has been showing me for perhaps a decade that, we talk about the new earth, we talk about the awakening of the new earth. This portal of the 8-8 becomes a significant activation for the earth frequencies to elevate, to illuminate. We are in active birth of birthing this new earth through our chemistry, through our DNA. You, as the light being, are the conduit. You are the connector. Everything that lives and breathes and carries DNA holds actualized codes. But what spirit shows me is we need the humans and the animals and some of the plants and trees and the mushrooms and things that grow beneath the surface. We need all of those networks to plug into Gaia because we're the delivery system. So we hold the DNA codes within us. The light sequences that we move through in portals, just like today, activate the remembrance of the DNA that's been dormant within us, the junk DNA as science calls it. That becomes activated, it becomes illuminated. You start to move with it as a part of your sequence, as a part of your frequency, but you become the delivery system for Mama Gaia to receive it. So you hold such an important role here on the planet. And every time you optimize your frequency, activate or elevate your DNA codes into greater remembrance, you are actually doula. You are being a doula or a midwife to the birth of the new earth. This is why these things are so important. What else came to my awareness, just a few little things before we move into transmission, is that this 8-8 has become a very popular portal. It's become very mainstream, we will say. And when things go super mainstream, it's always important to use a little extra parameters around it. It's become a little bit controversial, I want to say, and I believe it might be for good reason. So whenever, Yeshua, Jesus said, where two or more of you are gathered, there's an amplification. I'm not the best quote of the Bible. But the words were stated that where two of us or more of us, where we come together in cohesion of mind, heart, womb, heart, and collaboration together, we are stronger. We are activating, we're actualizing, we're creating a greater force of energy. When the collective consciousness of humanity gathers on specific days at specific times to elevate an open frequency, we are opening up wide to lots of things. I do believe there's a dance of light and dark happening on the planet right now. Most, I would say, would agree with me. And I would love your ideas of this in the comments, of course. When we open portals, we have to be so aware of what we are actualizing to bring through the portals. So I say that because today is a heightened energy. Allure magazine, InStyle magazine are all talking about the 8-8 portal. It's become very mainstream. I do ask that when we move into actualization and group consciousness, that we do so being very intentional, that we are opening with the intention to utilize our DNA sequences for the highest good of all that are, the all that is. That we are so mindful of what it is that we are opening, that we ask from the true essence of our divine creation that all of it be in service to the light, in service to ourselves, our bodies, our beings, our hearts, our minds, our souls, to ripple an effect of purity, of expansion, of the highest consciousness in service to the greatest good of all. And so when we move into transmission, I'm going to welcome Archangel Michael, whom I always welcome. And you will notice as we begin to go into transmission, and I do this with all offerings of channels that move through me, that we will bring the higher selves online. Your higher self is your soul self, your conscious self, the beyond the subconscious, it is the conscious. And when we put everything to conscious state, to higher self, so I never go into any transmission, any receiving, any sound bath, anything without asking that my higher self, my guides, my divine angels of protection, Archangel Michael and such, that they filter for me that only that which serves and resonates on the highest of high is allowed, is enabled to move into the consciousness of my being. So I give this to you because it's come to my awareness, and I think it's really important as so many people are opening portals. And I would like to think that they're all being managed properly, but we must do our due diligence to make sure that we are receiving only that which is good and not just good, but serves us on high. So, the other last thing I want to speak to before we go in is a couple of things about Venus is in her retrograde. It's a pulling in. It's a pulling in. We're having a lot of revisitations of past loves, of past experiences. It also pairs very much with this 8-8 Lionsgate because this is a karmic, a deep, deep, deep karmic cleanup. It goes all the way back to Atlantis times. It goes, this is like wiping the slate clean. An overall cleanup for the consciousness of humanity is what they're saying right now. And you hear the 8-8 being referred to often as the manifestation portal. And what is coming through is that it is essential to understand that manifestation creation is your natural state. You are doing it all the time. It isn't that you have to fine tune to become better at manifestation, better at the frequency of alignment. It is your natural state. What we get to do when we move into this transmission is release any resistance, any illusions that have stacked over the organic natural state of you as the divine creator. That manifestation, instant manifestation, being and flow. There's a lot of talk about the currency on the planet right now, right? Money is a creation of third dimensionality. It is a mark, it is a solid that we have put, well, an illusionary solid that we have put value upon in an exchange of energy and a currency of energy. But the truth is, you are in an endless flow of currency. And so if we move past the fear that the paradigm of money has created and we cast our spell, right? Because our words, our intentions, our frequency and vibration are as the casting of spells that is the true essence of magic. If you cast your spell of your currency into that which is greater beyond the great illusion of the third dimensionality of money, you will find yourself flowing in a way that is more harmonious. Now, we are still living in this 3D world, and it is still required, at least for now, that there is those marks that actually are the exchange that is accepted in this third dimensional experience. So we're not naively saying, like, just forget it. But what they are saying is when you begin to touch beyond it, you will get into the greater remembrance of you as the infinite creator of all that is. And the currency that flows there is not limited by scarcity or darkened by fear. So this is important. Yeah, I think beyond that, let's just go. Because it's all talk and it's all the mind, and we're here to create from a greater space. So I'm going to encourage you wherever you are, if you feel like laying down, go for it. My eyes will close, my eyes will open. You receive this however you want to. I'm going to begin this transmission with us all taking a nice, deep, full breath. And in that fullness of your breath, you are simply inviting yourself into greater presence. They said that there are 8 gateways of which we will unlock in this time that we have together. And the first gateway is actually the gateway of presence. May it begin now. So as you begin to relax the breath really becomes an opportunity for the mind to follow something that is structured out of its constant nagging outside of presence into future, into past, and giving it a job to pay attention to. The job of the mind for this moment is to focus upon how breath moves in and out of your body. You might feel called to place a hand on your heart, perhaps one on your womb. The womb space holds the essence of the second chakra. The second chakra, it is not dependent upon gender. Womb is a space that is held within the essence of creation. Those who have been born with an actualized womb as a feminine expression become a gatekeeper of a greater resonance of womb technology, because we have the capacity to birth actualized life. But all beings hold the essence of the womb, because all beings hold the essence of the divinity of the feminine. And today we will take a journey in anchoring a communion of the two within physical, energetic, emotional, and essence form. So as we move into this breath, I invite you to lean the essence of your body into the back body. It's like you're pivoting energy. It's like, imagine if you had a tube of water and you were pouring it all to the back. In that, you will just notice what happens when you dump your energy or spill your energy or invite your energy into the back body. It becomes the natural expression of the feminine. The front body opens. The mind quiets and the attention moves down deeper into the lower recesses of your being, into your womb. Now go ahead and pivot the energy forward, because we still learn from contrast. Pivot your energy forward. Notice what happens. Notice how the awareness goes into the mind, into the thinking. It's the actualization of the masculine within form that figures it out, that goes after, that sees, that creates, that makes things happen. Most of us spend most of our time in that frequency. Take a deep breath, audible exhale, and pivot all your energy into the back body. And feel the difference. Feel what becomes available to you from the essence of this space. And from here, we are going to see that there is a golden flicker of light that begins in the heart. And this is to activate our heart, to begin to unite and ignite the heart space, so that we can be connected through the frequency of love that is unconditional, through all time, through all space, through all expressions. That we tie our hearts together in a sequence of love. And then let's see that we also begin to activate our wombs together in a sequence of love, of creation. And then we will move our consciousness into the 8th chakra and see that our higher selves begin to join together in a higher consciousness. From this place, we bring in the one that is Archangel Michael. We ask him to create a container, whether you're watching this live or catching it on a video. You are brought into this sacred and holy space. And as we bring the one that is Archangel Michael, we ask that you stand before us as the great protector. And as we bring our higher selves online into this chamber, this vessel, this chalice of light, we ask you to protect us and to protect all portals that have and that are being opened at this time. As we welcome the higher selves to connect, we do set intention that everything that transpires here is intended to and shall serve for the highest and greatest good. That which is offered to your higher self to be implemented and or integrated into the expressions of your being in any way, in any time sequence that serves you. If it is not for you, it shall be left behind. And so we trust that the higher self knows exactly what you need and what sequence you need to receive it, and what time frame, timeline, and emergence that it is for you. And so it is. As we deepen this well, we will also see that our womb space, that sacred heart begins to drop down, to ignite through the 3rd chakra, through the 1st chakra, and it begins to drop the essence down so that we can be deeply rooted into the womb of Mama Gaia herself. You, as the great deliverance, are communing with her womb space, and through this there shall be a healing. That which is complete, that which has been taken, or that which has been discarded, may be reclaimed within you, within this space. That Mama Gaia holds the bounty of you as the divine creator, knowing that space of your womb holds technology for the creation of all things, life and beyond. as this exchange between your womb and her womb occurs, there is a purification, an anchoring deep within the core of this earth that we are so blessed to walk upon for this short time that we have here. It is a blessing, every breath of it. And as your awareness is looped down through, seeing that you have a ring of light, we'll say, that connects into your soul's crystal that lives within the womb of Mama Gaia. You have a mark within her womb that helped to deliver you here to this earth plane experience. When you actualize and connect yourself into that, it rekindles your connection. It overrides the first wound, which is the wound where your soul, or where your umbilical cord was cut from mother. The perception is that you were cut from source itself when that occurred, and we ask that you be umbilically recorded into the womb, into the core essence of Mama Gaia now, so that you know that you are an abundant creator, so that you move beyond the illusions of this 3D world that has you separated from anything. And so you will begin to breathe your awareness up, and when you find yourself back in the womb space, I want you to go to the back door of the womb, if you will. It could be as if you are traveling through a room, and maybe it's dark and maybe it's light, and it doesn't matter, but whatever this womb space needs to be an amazing space for you to rest within, make it be that now. I like to have light burning candles and fires in my womb room, a nice pink glow, soft fuzzy sheepskins. This is the place of sanctuary, of creation, of where dreams come to fruition. Make it magical in whatever way you know, you want, you desire. It's your space. And at the back door of this womb space, you're going to see that there is a door that perhaps you've never seen before. And you will reach into your heart and you will unlock the key from your heart. And you will place the key into the lock and you will turn. And when you do, you will see that there are two serpents that are awaiting you there. One of silver and one of gold. And as you see these serpents perhaps just licking out, notice there is no fear. They hold the divine codes of great remembrance through all of the times. And perhaps you place one hand on the golden one and one on the silver one, and it is in that moment that they begin to take you on a journey. The actualization, the unleashing of the serpent of your own expression. And if there's any pain within the sacrum, then open the door wider and let them carry you in these figure 8 movements up the spine, up through the fire of your solar plexus, picking up more momentum, more fuel, up through the heart, activating through the truth of the embrace of your love. It's so bountiful. They eat through any hardship or pain. They come and they weave their way up through the throat, eating away, transmuting all illusions of scarcity, of the expression of you as the creative being, expression of your desire, expression of your pleasure. It's the mirror of the pelvic floor. It heals the womb space through healing the throat. It moves up, and perhaps they move out the mouth. They loop around and they come in through the front of the third eye, and they eat away any calcification that has occurred within the pineal gland. And as they wind up, they go up through your higher self, they cross over, and they shoot you into the great central sun, into the star Sirius, actually as the spiritual sun today. And this is a culmination of awakening the Kundalini that is alive within you, and they've picked up the imprint of your DNA along the way. So they are bringing it to the sun, to the light, to be remembered. As we are journeying through this, we are opening the other gate codes. We have opened the gate code of protection. As they eat away all of the fear and the illusion that has been imprinted upon your being through the 3D, you are releasing the illusion of separation, which is in turn activating and actualizing you into the great remembrance that you are one with everything. There is nothing that you would desire to have, to know, to become, to experience, if it was not already alive within your being. If you have pressure in your head or the tip of your tailbone, it means both are being required to open, thank you, more wide, open wide. And as these two dance and spiral into the significant light, we are summoning them to bring down the codes of remembrance, of the eternal frequency of love that is unconditional, from you at soul level, in your greatest expression, as the illuminate light of the great central sun has inspired for you to activate the codes of remembrance through the synergy of your DNA now. And this essence of snake is an eternal spiral that moves in through the sun and down through to the earth, and it becomes this constant kind of spiraling energy where you are witnessing that remembrance occurs through the higher realms, and it spirals back down in its own way, back down through the helix of the DNA. If there's any junk DNA left to be awoken that has not been summoned and called forth through anyone that is observing this, we summon it to be actualized now. And you shall receive the potent codes of the great protection. The one that is the lion shall eat away the illusions that are before you. The illusions of scarcity, of pain, of suffering, of separation, that separation has created within you. Any physical pain is being eaten away by the conjunct of the serpent and the lion. And we will invite the one that is Venus as she stands in the expression of love through the underground to deliver her holy, sacred, healing elixirs up through your feet, through the underworld. There's a lot that's occurring in many multiple dimensions of you as a being in this moment. We activate that remembrance occur. And through the remembrance, which is the fifth gateway, and through the remembrance, you shall see yourself as united to all things. As the great illusions disintegrate before you, we activate the sixth gateway, which is connection. That you become connected in your holy union from this moment to all moments that have ever been, in a way that serves you, that brings you home, holy and whole. We move through the seventh gateway, which is the galactic gateway, where we summon the Council of the Purity of 13 to bestow your wisdom upon us now, to activate the DNA codes, to be in resemblance of that which is on high. You might be called to create a sound. It's a high-pitched sound. Those high pitches are to create vibration. It needs to vibrate the third eye to help release some of the karmic dissolution, is what they're saying. So if you're called to hum, do it at a high pitch so you feel the vibration occur up through the skull. Thank you. And we will also take us fully into the eighth gateway. It is as if you walk through the door that sits within the spiritual sun. And through that is the galactic gateway of quantum activation, which brings you into the quantum well experience of infinity. And from this infinite gaze, which you could perceive as pure light, you allow the purity of that galactic quantum remembrance to summon as healing for any expression of you that is left unhealed. Physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. Through any timeline, through any dimension, through all space and all time, it is summoned now. That all of the codes of activated light and the pure potential of the I am of the consciousness of the Christed One and beyond be given free reign along with your free will to optimize the remembrance of these codes at its highest expression within you. So significant in its activation that the shadows of third dimensionality cannot hold up any longer in the brilliance of the light of you actualized in the truth of you at this level. Deep breath. We would like to say, beloveds, that you are the divine creators of all existence, of all things. It is sheer illusion that anything exists outside of you, or that anything exists without you, or that anything exists to create you any kind of harm or peril. It's for you to understand in this activation, in this now moment, that you are the expression of everything that has ever been. We cannot stress enough the importance of you coming into the actualized remembrance of the power that you behold, that you are doing none of this alone, for that is the great illusion of separation that is before you, but you are a force of pure light. You are a force of pure light that has shone through all timelines, through all dimensions, and through all space, with no beginning and no end. This expression of a fractal that you have chosen to experience as you walk in the human journey is just that. It's an expression of a fractal. Do not attach to it as more than that, and do not attach to every nuance that you walk as being more significant than it needs to be. It is an experiment. We would call it as an experience that you chose to understand, so that the pieces, the fractals, could come together in unification and wholeness. This great experiment that has happened upon planet Earth has happened for long enough. And now we shall call it a time of unification. We shall call it a time of great harmonization. We shall call you into the remembrance of you as a fractal of a whole, and that the fractal in itself is the illusion, and that there is nothing for you to play within that great illusion. And when you find yourself lost and forgetting, we summon you to simply fall back into the remembrance of love. For it is the only thing that exists, and it will shatter the great illusion of fractalized experience and expression. And so as this is culminating, it is beautiful to be in the journey of this expansion, but we are also required to bring this down into the actualization of human, breathing, living, touching, sentient expression. So with your breath, you're going to sip your breath in and in and in and in until you are in the fullness of the biggest breath that you can take. And you're going to hold that breath at the top, and you're going to pull up your mula bandha. You're going to pull in your womb space. You're going to pull up your first, second, and third chakras. You're going to sip more air and pull it all up. And when you cannot hold this any longer, you will release. And in that full release, all pieces of you shall come back into the actualized form of you as a human being connected here on this earth plane and delivered through you into the essence, into the belly, into the womb of Mama Gaia herself. And your hands might go back onto your person. And any intentions that you are willing to set in this frequency of your great remembrance may be spoken into the hollow of your bone, to be birthed through your blood, through your oxygen, through your systems, through your frequency, through your vibration, as it is. It is as it is, as you are claiming it. It is to be so. And to come into that frequency of great remembrance, of the unified field of love that has no beginning and no end, and to allow that to be the blanket that wraps around the preciousness of this temple body that you are so blessed to inhabit for the time that you have to inhabit it. Every breath is a gift. Every frequency of love that you bestow beyond you is a gift to the collective. Every thought you have of unification brings us closer to the great remembrance and collapses the fractal of separation. Opening up into the full awakened state of your illuminate essence in this now moment, and allowing gratitude to be what it is that sets your frequency from this moment forward. And so you will gently begin to tap your feet, and most importantly, begin to move your body, especially those hips, getting the space that exists around the sacrum as the holy serpents are finding their way back into their resting space that is within your sacrum. And maybe they'll loop themselves down into Mama Gaia to drink from her well, to replenish, to come back into the space of grace and presence here and now in this moment, which is this most precious moment, which is the moment that we are here together in this breath. And so with this transmission of this 8-8 Lion's Gate come to an end, we ask that each of your higher selves, each of our higher selves, begins to implement and integrate the technologies that have been brought to awareness in a way that serves you gently. And please know that the cycle of sleep is always a necessary cycle to restart and regenerate new. Just like when you update your iPhones, you have to put them to sleep. The sleep that you go into tonight will be the reset, so that when you wake up tomorrow, your operating system has been expanded with the pieces that your higher self has chosen to receive, and that you are in a condition of new. So it's important what you begin to program into that system, meaning be very mindful over the next 12 to 24 hours what you're taking in. What you take in as far as noise and sound and light and thoughts and beliefs and things. Be very mindful. You can always say, not now, mind. Not now if it's wanting to entertain any kind of scarcity, limitation, lack, or separation. Not now. And just like the child, it'll sit down and then it'll come back. What about now? Not now, mind. So you get to choose how you will assimilate this technology of remembrance through the codes of your DNA. And that question, the ask, the invitation is always this or greater. May it be in service, and may I be in my highest expression of service. That is all we're here to do, to navigate our frequency and to deliver it beyond us into the greatest expression of service. Your service, your purpose on this planet is to be your authentic, true love and light eminence as you are already at soul level. And the rest is simply a journey of remembrance. So with that, my beloveds, we are complete with this transmission. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I would like to say that I will drop below a couple of ways to play with me. I've decided that I'm going to do a couple more transmissions. The next one's going to be on the new moon, which is just next week. And in that, we're going to go through a little bit of a death ritual, a little bit of handing over and letting go of that which is complete for us, because it's been brought to my attention how important it is to ritualize some of these. So we will go into the dark moon, and we will welcome some of the dark mothers to help lay to rest some of the parts that are complete within us. So I am sending so much love to your light. Blessed be you. And I'm really honored to be on this journey with you. Bye for now.